Bienvenidos a La Full Experience. This is the show where we take 4 episodes from a TV series to try to see if we can extract its essence and behave as if we watched the entire thing. We are in the middle of watching Yellowstone. Last time we watched the first episode. This time we're watching the ultimate episode. That is the highest rated according to IMDb. Next time we'll watch the lowest. And then, of course, we will finish with the last. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
Oh man, I was unprepared this morning, got up, got my first coffee of the day, turn on, oh boy, this show was a lot.
First coffee of the day for season 4, episode 1. So the season premiere of season 4, Half the Money, which first aired November 7th, 2021, and starts with everyone hurt.
Yeah, although it was really interesting. Okay.
No previously on for us because we watched it on Peacock, but apparently
let's talk about that.
Amos got a previously on, which caught him up on what happened at the end of season 3 because he bought the episode from a store.
What did you see on the previously on that we didn't know? Because to be honest, when there was no previously on, I thought, well, how am I going to know? And I'm like, I think I know everything that I need to know.
It took me a little longer to piece it together than I thought it would, but I eventually did.
Yeah.
The previously on showed basically the essence of every attack. It was basically a 4-pronged attack. They went after the Dutton families in different ways, and then the bomb.
Blew up Beth.
Yeah, they basically showed that. It was kind of a long one, but it was really just action. There wasn't a lot of dialogue or build up to it or anything else. So it was kind of, I don't want to say it's unnecessary, but it gave me some context, but I wouldn't have I would not have gone without understanding what it was if I didn't.
It's not like you didn't know Beth was in an explosion when she walked out Nagasaki style.
To be honest, I really dug piecing together. I don't know what the experience is like if you watch the episode beforehand, but I know I loved the experience of watching this in isolation, having the puzzle to figure out just how bad things were, who probably was thought to be 100% dead, and who was probably thought to be like, oh, they'll probably make it, and so on. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I enjoyed unraveling the mystery of what the hell was going on and was surprised, although I'm not sure whether I was supposed to be surprised or not, when we find out that it's a third party that created this attack. It was, you would think like, oh, it's the enemy on the reservation most likely, or maybe the banker. And it turns out, oh no, it's not who you thought it was.
So that is one aspect that I forgot about until you just mentioned it. But during the previous on, it did show that there's a huge contract available for part of the Dutton Ranch worth like $500 million. Mm-hmm. That the son, the prosecutor or whatever.
Oh no, the prosecutor guy. Gotcha.
Yeah. He wants to sell, and then old man Jamie Dutton does not. Mm-hmm. And that was like the source of conflict that led into all this.
That explains why Beth was mad at Jamie, which again, I didn't need to know. I'm like, okay.
To be honest, I don't know that those details are necessary at all because we felt it.
Yeah.
It's like, he's on the side of the money.
Jamie did something that the rest of the Duttons don't like. I get it.
There was one line that was far and away my favorite is I felt so very respected as a viewer because we assume we're all caught up at the moment that, Kevin Costner is barely half alive or whatever. And then they get him into the hospital and then we jump. So I know that there's nothing missing, but when they cut within about 30 seconds to what's her name walking in with a coffee cup, seeing him, and then they do one of my favorite tricks, which is me as a viewer is on my back heel because they imply a whole back history for me to fill in using the power of glamour, where she says, you tell me he's never going to wake up. And then when he wakes up, you put him back to sleep. I'm like, did that all happen? I'm like, maybe that was a previous episode. I'm like, no, because I got all caught up. And I'm like, they are actually allowing giant swaths of the story to exist outside of the show. And that was an excellent cue that instantly got me all the way dialed in. I loved the little standalone vignettes. You don't have to see nothing at all by itself to enjoy that the star of the show is that vignette with her and the 14-year-old losing his dad. That was just phenomenal.
Really? Oh, that's so funny. Because I was about to say the one part that dragged for me was when Beth talked to the 14-year-old and they were clearly setting up a character for later in the season that I'm not going to watch. And it didn't tell me anything much more about Beth that I didn't already know.
No,
for me, it just filled in Beth a little bit. It gave me not more. It didn't tell me more about her, but it still filled in. I mean, I can see that something's red, but then when it's like bright red, it gives me a different sense of the red, and it gave me a different sense of Beth. It just filled in a little bit of what I already knew.
I was more excited when Beth shot the chimes.
I didn't like that at all because she looked at the chimes and I was like, don't do nothing to the chimes. I like chimes.
Oh, you were rooting for the chimes.
And then they showed the bird. I was like, well, at least have the testicles to shoot that bird. And then she didn't.
She didn't shoot.
So I'm like, well, there you go.
We were reverse on the Beth stories this time because I heard the chimes and I'm like, that's so annoying. I want her to shoot those, and then she got up and left, and I was disappointed. I was like, oh, so she's just leaving the porch? Oh no, she came back and shot him. I was like, good job, Beth. And then when the bird shot, I'm like, you're gonna shoot that bird, and the bird left. I'm like, smart bird. And then she said, smart bird. So I was in sync with Beth in this particular episode, I guess.
I didn't care for. There was a brief moment that it felt not like a TV show, and then they spent 30 seconds deeply establishing he's fine, everything's forget all about. There's no stakes. Remember how for a second it looks like there was going to be stakes?
Oh,
look
right,
at him. He's already
Jimmy,
dressed, walking down the stairs.
Yeah, we met Jimmy, the drug addict in episode 1.
We did see him there.
At the very beginning of this episode, we hear no Jimmy. And I wrote in my notes, ooh, Jimmy died. And then later on, you see him like doing physical therapy. You're like, oh, okay. So Jimmy didn't die. He made a miraculous recovery. And then, yeah, like you said, John dismisses the nurse. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be bad. But no, he's just able to play some poker. I don't know. Maybe it'll be bad next episode. Maybe he'll have a relapse. I don't know.
A relapse of getting shot. Oh, I got a consumption and the bullets. Oh, I got a case of the bullets. They're back.
Well, he rips open some stitches or something. I don't know. I don't know what he's. I don't know what he's got. We never got the diagnosis. So, I guess if I'm going to be not mad, but if I'm going to be disappointed at the pace of the Beth and the kid story, I'd have to be mad at the bar story where she tells the lady to, order your own drink. That was a little cartoonish too, but that one didn't mind me. I didn't mind that
either. It was a little cartoonish with the about face at the end, but what are you going to get from that vignette? I mean,
I'll be honest. The things that disappointed me in this episode is that we only see Monica, who is set up as a central character, her and Casey in episode 1. We only see her running and, in her boy shooting the guy, save her life. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get a lot about Monica. Nothing again. And even Casey's story is just, I'm mad and looking for vengeance. And then we don't see anything with him. And again, this is the unfair thing of the full experience.
Oh, well,
where I'm like, I need it all in this episode, and it's probably going to play out in other places.
That gunfight at the beginning with Casey was dope, man.
So good.
No, I didn't know if that was the previously on because the action was so fast and so brutal and unrelenting.
Yeah.
Although it did annoy me. I think we're entering an age where it's distracting to see actors using firearms in non-accurate ways. Like I understand that when it's 4x3 broadcast television on the A team and you got to kind of sweep left and right because you can, and that's a better visual on this low fidelity thing. But in the high fidelity world, I'm like, come on guys, trigger discipline, just short bursts. Come on.
There's so many rounds fired and so few hits that it's maddening. Not only as a gun firer, but as a gun owner. Like all I saw was money just pouring out of the guns with no effect.
I mean, to be honest, also, it's like, if you know enough about guns, I was annoyed by the very opening scene when the police are coming and it's like, you put that piece away, Kevin Costner. What are you doing? Why are you just casually brandishing a firearm?
You mean in that season 1 opener?
Yeah. I mean, the very pilot. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that I didn't have a problem with just from Indiana. That's just how things are in the country.
We also have Chief Rainwater show up just to be confused, apparently. Like, wait, he actually says they didn't do it and he might be believable. Well, beat him up some more for me, please. Like, I don't know. The native part of this story seemed to get short shrift in this particular episode.
I suspect that there's a lot of it elsewhere, but
Probably.
I really enjoyed the discomfort of multi-layering the blackjack scene. Number one, the portrayal of the casino as being cheap and tawdry and dirty, great, accurate. The annoyed, I don't know that character at this point, but it looks like a character we should know from someone else who's being punished to have to work the blackjack table or something. But then, he overhears the right thing in the right context, and he navigates that thread. I enjoyed all of that.
A well
I also
choreographed
enjoyed
scene,
the
certainly.
miniature chess match of like, no, you understand. You are a dead man. The question is, are you going to do one brave thing and protect your children? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you recognize the guy Rip killed who was fishing?
I did not recognize him.
That's
Were you
from
lost?
Oh, sorry. I didn't
Josh
know it was
Holloway.
the
Josh
actor.
Holloway.
Yeah.
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 Well, I know you have an affinity for Sawyer.
We named our dog Sawyer
Yeah.
in the past. So I did not recognize him. I saw Josh Holloway in this IMDb. I'm like, where was he? I had to go look it up. And I'm like, oh, the Fisher guy who is apparently an investor. So that is a leak, or an inkling that one of the investors is the one that
What
made
I
this go
did
down, which is why
recognize?
Beth is mad at Jamie. So that all ties it together.
There was, I think I was too distracted because I was looking at the igloo cooler that was greeked out with a bit of duct tape that looked exactly like the igloo cooler that they used when we did the rattlesnake segment on hacking the system. Like I'm like, I wonder if it's the same rattlesnake handler because he showed up with exactly
With the
that's
cooler.
his cooler. Yeah,
That's not unlikely, actually. Yeah. What a way to go. That was some fast acting venom. I don't know. Maybe that's realistic
to be honest,
with
I
that
think
particular
it's
snake. I don't know.
about accurate. I don't know that they took too much out.
Gotcha. Any other thoughts on this episode of Yellowstone, Half the Money?
I see why this would be the highest rated. There are really good moments. However, as an episode in and of itself, it is highly uneven.
I think it's very contextual. I almost want to say I prefer season 1, episode 1 to this, but it did slow down in a way that this one really didn't. So the pacing is better here. But
That's right. They tried to get 2 hours out of the first one.
Whereas this one's pretty tight. And most of my complaints are contextual. It's complaints of, but I want to know more, which I would know more if I had watched previous episodes or were watching the next one. So this is putting the full experience to the test, I think.
Yeah.
I would say that I agree that the Native American aspect of it got kind of shortchanged a little bit, as did the possible investors, the attitude and everything else. But then if you look at the name of the show, it's Yellowstone, and if you read that fully, it's Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. So it should be focused primarily on the Dutton family, with the others being
I
secondary
just
characters.
realized I was about to say something along the lines of that 1800s Indian vignette didn't go anywhere. But then I realized, they almost certainly are setting up something like they did make a weird moment of like my father's bones, which need to never be disturbed by you or anyone else. And now I'm realizing, there's some kind of treasure and there's reasons that people want things.
Definitely going to disturb those bones.
And that's the
also,
kind of thing that you would hire an army for.
1883 just happened.
Yeah.
As we go into season 4. So everybody's like, oh, look, Tim McGraw again. That's great.
I would say the only thing that disappointed me on this is the fact that I don't get to watch the next episode. Like,
I mean, you can,
but not in the spirit of the of the full
Tom finishes
experience.
that time machine and watches Death Note. Then you can do it.
Nice pull.
Yeah, this is one of those shows that I'm like, dang, my wife was right. I probably should have watched this with her from the beginning.
Here is the trouble. We're going to the lowest rated episode of Yellowstone next, season 5, episode 9. So we're jumping ahead a season and a chunk. First aired in November 2024. I don't think it's poorly rated. It's a 7 out of 10. So I'm not expecting this to be trash. which makes it all the more interesting to try to determine why this is the lowest rated of the bunch.
Well, and if we can lock in our predictions now, some of the reasons that we've seen has been a departure from style or a refusal to progress the main narrative, or strangely, or being a clip show, or just being of everything the most same. And if it's a 7 out of 10, that suggests to me that it's going to be the most same, which is a bad thing if you're watching the whole series. It's a good thing if you're trying to get the full experience.
Yeah, it's episode 9 out of a season of 14 episodes. So it's like right in the middle of the run, which is unusual. So
was this is season 5 though, right? Wasn't season 5 split into 2 pieces like all out Breaking Bad?
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Well, season 5's the last season,
right?
Too. So this is the second half of that season. Let me look if yes, the first half of season 5 ran through the end of December and technically January 1st of 2022, and then it didn't come back until November 2024.
And what episode did it come back on?
Episode 9 is the first episode back
there we go.
The middle of season 5.
There we go. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we're going to go into it and it's just going to be a bunch of catching up and setting up, but no actual
which would explain a 7, where it's like it's fine, but nothing really happened.
Yeah, it's not a bad episode. It's just it didn't. It's not the episode we wanted.
All right. Well, that's what we'll be watching next time. Desire is All You Need, season 5, episode 9. Until then, everybody, if you are a patron, you get these episodes early. You get After Talk, where we discuss which episodes to watch, and you can weigh in on that. You can get all that at patreon.com/Cordkillers. We'll talk to you next time.